Welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Done podcast. I'm your co host, Adriana Marshall, and that's my amazing co host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott. Greetings, everyone.
We received a student question from one of our PSM1 classes, and the question is: as a Scrum Master, what principles should you follow to ensure the success of your Scrum team? There are many ways we can go with this question, but Scott, I'll kick it off to you first.
Beautiful question. First of all, let me give you my framework in terms of my thought process in terms of answering that question. Whenever I'm doing something in the Scrum environment, I'm always thinking about the Agile Manifesto, and I'm also thinking about the Scrum Guide. And I try my best to encompass what the Scrum Guide says and also what the Agile Manifesto says in regards of the principles. So with that context in mind, I want to give you an example of that framework I have in my mind. So let's go to principle number one in the Agile Manifesto. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. Every company is pretty much in business to serve the customer. The customers are why we're in business. The customers are why the company is still in business. So how does that principle support Scrum, and how can that equate to Scrum team effectiveness? Now, let's take that principle and go to sprint planning. I'm thinking of sprint planning for the first question in sprint planning is why are we doing this sprint? We're collaborating, trying to identify what value is this going to give the customer, the stakeholder. After collaboration, we identify what? Our sprint goal. We're starting our sprint out with that in mind. We're thinking about the Agile Manifesto, principle number one. We're thinking about that principle in Scrum that we want to have a sprint goal and do something that's of value to the stakeholders. Now, when we get to the sprint review, we should be delivering what the customer is expecting because we started off with the customer in mind. Adriana, does that help?
Yeah, Scott, great. When I read this question, it does make me think of what principles and behaviors should that Scrum Master follow. And that's also why I think this question can go in so many different directions. I think at the core, a Scrum Master does have to be a true leader, and there are many leadership principles that you can follow. I'll give you a few different companies from Amazon, Microsoft, and Nike, just so you have some different ones. One of the ones that Amazon lives by that Scott mentioned is customer obsession. That is at the core of what Amazon believes. You should be absolutely obsessed with your customer. And Scott already touched on that. I think the other thing is ownership and diving deep that I would take from Amazon as a Scrum Master. That willingness to understand how your team delivers and their struggles and their challenges, and taking ownership to remove those impediments, and taking ownership of how your organization is agile, I think is really important for a Scrum Master to help their team be successful, because helping the organization is helping your team. Microsoft principles are creating clarity, helps the team move in the same direction. I think that's super important for success. Generate energy, breathes life into projects with a growth mindset. There's a whole book called Mindset, and in the growth mindset, I think is really important for any leader to have. You're not necessarily going to be perfect in all of them, but understanding your faults and growing in those areas, I think, are really important. And the other one for Microsoft is deliver success, keep team solutions and customer focus. Notice that both Amazon, the Agile Manifesto, and Microsoft are all talking about being customer focused or customer obsessed. A few that I like from Nike that I would say you should be following as a Scrum Master is do the right thing. Take responsibility, embrace the truth, offer transparency. Transparency, part of empiricism. Scrum is based off of empiricism, and simplify and go. I think that's really important. So, different perspectives on the principles that you should follow as a Scrum Master, and I think all are really important. But those are our opinions. Scott, do you have another one?
Yeah, another principle I really like in the Agile Manifesto of Software Development is principle number 12 that talks about at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tune and adjust its behavior accordingly. Wow, that sounds like continuous improvement, doesn't it? Exactly. Yes, we definitely got to continuously improve. Now, how does Scrum support that? That would be the sprint retrospective where we're seeing how we can improve as a team to get better and come up with at least one continuous improvement item so that our lives as a Scrum team will be getting better. Our quality of the product or whatever it is we're delivering the customer is getting higher and getting better. So, yeah, I love that principle and that application within inside of the Scrum framework.
Sounds great. And if you have other principles that you follow to be a successful Scrum Master to help out others, leave them in the comments. If you have questions, leave it in the comments. We'll respond. We may also make it a video. Whatever you're looking forward to, let us know and we'll create some content about it. In the description, you can find our LinkedIn as well as our newsletter. We'll be sending exclusives to those that are subscribed. And if you made it to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not Scrum down. Have an amazing day.